So here's the first update on a deck and progress that we've made so far. As you can see, still working on several parts of the deck, but I thought I'd share with everybody some of the structural work that we've had to do so far and some of the other work that has caused us a little more time than I think what we initially thought of. So first of all, before we get started, one of the things that was pretty significant in our deck changing plan was, folks remember that this used to be the stairwell, and it was just a small little 3-foot wide stairwell. This eventually will become some countertop space. This little angled bracket and this post will go away, and this countertop will get extended over here along with the railing that'll go in here. So this will be another area to do some food prep. We spent a significant amount of time underneath the deck working on a lot of structural items. For example, we had a major beam that was cracked. We poured some additional concrete and some new posts, as well as refurbished some of the structure here underneath around how some of this concrete was put together here on the outside of the deck. We're not in Richfield, but Richfield requires in their code 6 inches of above ground concrete, and this will help us with any wood rot problems we had. These posts, while some of them had a little bit of rot on them, we ended up patching that up with the wood rot Bondo kit and then reset these within some new fresh concrete. You'll see here on the back side of the deck, this is some of the original structure, and you can see underneath some of the new structure and some of the beams that were put in there to help support the deck. We haven't locked down any of these boards yet, but you'll see underneath, if I can get one of these up, you can see some of the new joists, some of the old joists. In the end game, we ended up taking all of the old joists and we flipped them upside down, so we had fresh spots to screw screws into without getting into the old holes, and we spun them around 180 degrees so that where we used joist hangers over here on this side of the deck, we screwed straight in to the frame of the deck here, and this way we didn't reuse the same holes over and over. We pulled down a couple of the old posts to replace those. I'll show you those in a minute, but these were some posts that were old posts that used to be just like this color here. It was stained and painted over the years. Cheryl has since sanded all of these down and got these prepped for a little bit of stain. These posts are yet to be salvaged and sanded down, just haven't gotten to them yet. The railing and everything here will all be replaced. Just haven't gotten to that yet. This again is an example of an original post that Cheryl sanded down. These two posts are brand new. We used to have a post right here in the center. You can see where we cut that off. And ideally we've got a large 12-foot by 12-foot umbrella that will get mounted here onto the deck floor. And so this becomes two different posts. We'll have a smaller, shorter railing between the two, but we need a little bit of extra room because of the size of that umbrella. You'll notice that all these deck posts are notched. This allows us to put a railing right up on top, and then we'll back that up with another railing behind with some ornamental mission-style railing that we'll have to custom build. This last weekend was all tied up in getting these posts in for the stairs. We widened the stairs, it's just a hair over 5 foot. And to do that, we ended up having to pull up some of these boards, get to the frame structure underneath this lower deck, and we had to figure out exactly where these posts were going to be and at what angle they needed to be so that they landed at 29 inches here above the bottom of this deck surface here. So 29 inches is where this needs to be. 28 to 32 inches is code height, so this is 28, this is 29, 32 is just right underneath here, so we're right within code. So we ended up having to pull out these deck boards, and these are 14 foot long. We had to figure out exactly where these posts need to be, and in the end game, we're off by about 1/8 of an inch between the two. We laid out these new stairs. We haven't screwed them down yet, primarily because Cheryl wants to use this hidden deck system so that we have no screws showing on any of the boards, and we just haven't gotten there yet to figure out how this works. But you'll see here, these are all custom cut around the posts. Art would be proud because of how clean and crisp they are. And we didn't want to ruin these two boards, putting in some screws temporarily we'll probably figure out this next weekend on how all that that new decking system goes in. You'll see here as well with these new skirts, some ornamental bolts to help hold them in as well. Those ornamental bolts come from the same company that did them here on the pergola as well. This one was a bit of a chore. This probably took us 3 hours to get in and get it nice and straight. You can see the board is cupped just a little bit, but it was good enough for us. We ultimately ended up using, this board was going to go on the other side. We ended up using a different board for this side. And the reason why we haven't gotten that skirt up on the other side is we just haven't gotten around and had the time yet to get it all cut and get it in. But we will have, when we're done with that skirt, have the same kind of ornamental metal work here. And as you can see, we haven't cut this yet to length. We've got to put this skirt in, figure out where it cuts, and then be able to get that 90-degree cut all done and done well. So that's where we sit on the deck. More to come this weekend with our next video.